So what I've got here, I've gone ahead and used my hoist. This dump bed frame underneath is so heavy that there's just no possible way that I would be able to safely lift it into position. So I've used my, I've got the wheels chalked on the trailer so it's not pulling back, and I've used the my overhead gantry crane to lift it up. So what I need to do is go ahead and grind all of these weld spots smooth, because they're going to sit down here on this lower portion smooth. And I'll get all of that accomplished now while it's up in the air. When that's done, I'm going to do one more little reinforcing thing that I see I've decided I want to do on this. And then I will probably clean everything the best I can and go ahead and paint this from the underside, so that it gets done, and then paint the top of the bottom of this of the trailer piece now. So that's what you're going to see. I'm not sure if you can hear outside, but I live near an Air Force base, and so what you hear outside right now in the distance is what a lot of us Air Force veterans refer to as the sound of freedom. And that's our lovely F-15 neighbors and some A-10s that get to go do some training. My house happens to be not directly in between, but sort of directly in between the flight path and them leaving the Air Force Base and going to the range. Given the state of world affairs, as I hear those aircraft flying over, I think to myself, train hard and be ready. While I've got it up in the air, I think I'm going to fabricate and weld up some guide plates, and where I want those guide plates to go. I left this open on purpose here. So the point of the guide plate is as it sits down onto the trailer bed, that it squares it to the trailer. So as it's coming down, this plate will it'll have a twofold purpose. One, I'm going to cap that and reinforce this joint, not that it necessarily needs reinforced, but then I'll put a bend right about here, just off of that, to kick this bottom notch out just a little bit, and I'm going to do that with my press to kick that notch out a little bit, so that as it comes down, if it's off center, it will guide the trailer into sitting down square on the thing. I have considered maybe doing a little wider here. I've got those holes in that. That might be a better option, just to make it a little longer. But I've got two of these plates, but either way, that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna go figure out those bends and where those need to be, and then we'll weld those on, because I want to do an under weld here as well, and that needs to take place while it's up in the air. So That's gonna be my next project is getting that done, is making the little, the guide plates as it comes down so that it sits square. So I'm over at my press here, and I'm gonna get it prepped here in just a few minutes to make that bend in there. Hydraulic press is a fantastic tool as well. I really enjoy how easy it makes to make repetitive bends and things along those lines. My press suffered an issue this winter. I was using it in some cold weather, and as you can see, if maybe you can't, but there is hydraulic oil all over the place here. And that's a product very likely of either a broken seal or what happened while I was using it. It may have ended up with a seal that was shrunk due to the cold and ended up leaking hydraulic. So I'm replacing it with a pneumatic driven hydraulic jack. A lot of conversation with a friend of mine. Presses are extremely dangerous. They're dangerous because if you apply too much pressure, you have everything of what you're trying to do there under pressure. And when something breaks, it explodes with explosive power. So the jack that I got, and I'll explain more when I put it on, it will be used to do most of the work, but the finish part of the pressing, I want to be able to feel it with my hand so I know how much pressure is being applied, whether or not I'm going to break something. Anyway, I'm going to swap this out, and hopefully this jack will slip right on out. Looks like it did. And I'm hoping the new one goes right in. We'll find out. This jack on here. So that we are in a good spot. Let's see. Okay, I'll give you a quick look. Basically, I've got this installed. I have bled the air out of it. What I ended up doing was lining up the existing holes on the plate here and going ahead and drilling these. Just put something like that on there. I'm looking down on the bottom there to see about right. That's about it. Two of them are pretty close. Looks like I need to take this other one a little bit further. So that's, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Tighten that up. I'm sure my skin's not going to get pinched. Alright. I think we're there. I think that's a big upgrade. I'm very happy with it so far. And at no point did I get even close to where I was putting it under pressure, but in general, I think we're pretty dang good. They're not exactly consistently the same, but I'll make them look close enough since they'll be on opposite sides of the trailer. It's not going to be enough for anybody to even bother or even... C-clamps. No end on it, so it won't pivot. I hate them. I've come to hate C-clamps. But I'll kill myself while I'm trying to get up and down. Square enough. So weld uphill, weld downhill. A lot of people have different opinions on it. I say weld whatever's going to work for what you're trying to get done. Sometimes I like to weld uphill, sometimes I like to weld downhill. Because I don't want to come back in and lift this up again, I'm going to close the corner from the top on over this way. Take a quick glance at everything, make sure I don't have any holes or pits in that one. I'm always trying to find a spot to be supported. In general, looks good. One of the beauties of painting, you actually find places that you need to weld. So underneath that one brace, I haven't welded that yet because I didn't see it. So. That's how that tab's going to work, and I will weld right up here and then cut this off and weld that up there too. I'm going to wait to cut this off though until probably not. I probably won't wait. I'll probably go ahead and cut it off and then weld that corner. Same on this one. Looks good. Looks like we're down nice and solid. So in reality, I can probably start to put the box piece on later, but my focus tonight has to turn to my truck. I need to go do a quick change of the serpentine belt, and what that may result in is me actually pulling this out of my way and getting it out of here so I can work on my truck in here. We'll see how that goes. Well, that doesn't sound right. That should be a smooth running bearing. This is an example of life as it happens. And so this is how things, as you're working on a project, they have to change. So being flexible. Same with fabricating. If you don't do things, if you don't have it completely planned out, you've got to make some changes and make some plans. So I've got to put my truck back together. So I had to take it apart because it was making noise, and I need to use it tomorrow for a fairly sizable job to pull 15,000 pounds. So it's got to be in flawless running order. I heard this noise coming, and I'm like, I don't want to be stuck on the road. So long story short, got after it last night, found the problem. Parts on order. It'll be here this morning. I'll go pick it up after work, and then we'll get this thing slapped back together. I do have people that give me a hand once in a while, not necessarily with knowledge, sometimes with knowledge, but a lot of times it's just good to have somebody moral support on things that you may have self-doubt about. But anyway, hopefully this will be just a short clip, and then the rest of this video will be putting more on that dump trailer, and we'll get that done. You gotta love it when you have leftover parts. Well, you sort of love it. That's what's left over from, and I hope that I showed this, but if you listen, that's where the clutch fan pulley rode. So it is now repaired. Truck's over there, all put back together, thank goodness. A little distraction. Now I'm gonna get that dump trailer back in here so I can get back to work on it. So I'll show you another distraction of what goes on in life sometimes that stops me from getting more work done or being more productive. So I'm walking by the Terramite backhoe, and lo and behold, I glanced down, and this thing has got some issues. You can see there's some oil leaks, and that's okay, because I'll keep pouring oil in it, and I'll replace lenses as they break because they are expensive. But the bottom line is it needs some attention, more attention than I have. But anyway, I noticed these two are broken, so I'm like, all right, I'll run over and get those. So I've got the studs. They're not quite pushed all the way in yet, but they will be. But lo and behold, the reason they broke, and if you can see this right here, the wheel isn't seated on. Now I'm going to jump over to the other side and show you this. This wheel is in the right place. It goes all the way down. But this one, and I've already marked it with a marker because I'm getting ready to fix it with the plasma cutter. This one doesn't. And you can see there's, get right up there, you can see that lip. That's where it's pushed to. So I'm going to cut that out freehand with the plasma cutter. Probably going to look like his freehand with plasma cutter, but I'll take my time and do my best and get that done. But that's just a distraction. I had to fix the truck, now I had to fix this, get it back in service because we need it. But that is what it is, that's life. Sometimes we've got to shift gears and do other things. So I finally get the opportunity to go back to work on the dump trailer. Truck's fixed, backhoe's fixed, all of those things. So hopefully I'll get some good quality time today. It's a little bit chilly, it's not that cold, but it's a little bit chilly. What I'm going to work on today is getting this surface completely flat so that it's prepared, all the outside edges anyway, so that it's prepared to take the box portion of it. So the 2 feet all the way up, all the way around it. So. So basically the box is welded into position. And I ran out of battery this morning. We got this side on, hopefully we saw that, this side and then the front. I want to take a minute and talk about what these sides are. These are the tongues that came off of a manufactured home. The two sides are. And I had some of this material left over from previous ventures in some other work, and so I put those pieces around the trailer, so if I need to add height for a taller load, I can do that. I don't want to necessarily get any taller with any wood material or anything like that, because I think it'll be rather expensive. So basically what I'm looking at is just a ton of welding that needs to be done. I'm going to talk a little bit. I need to, on this the Ryan Ram bracket, I need to make some finish welds on that and tie in the back. A little bit of cleanup in here, unpin the ram, flip it upside down, and then repin it both on that bracket and then on this bracket up here, the Grayson bracket, and get that done. And then get the material for the bed figured out, make a final decision on that and get that in there. But overall, it looks pretty good. I say pretty good. This is largely recycled material, so it's not flawlessly straight. As you look down there, you see a slight bend to it. These have been welded, cut, and it's a bit of a challenge to get them lined up again. This one had a little different S shape to it, but overall, I think it is. I think it's perfect, and the word "perfect" in my mind means good enough. So I'm not gonna go flawless or without blemish. I'm not gonna say that, but I think it's perfect enough. And then the rear gates, they're still over there. They too are made out of some recycled material. I think they came out of the underneath side of a mobile home or a manufactured home, and I got those from another friend. But I've got a lot of welding to do. I'm not going to videotape that because a lot of it is just a lot of boring weld here, weld here, weld here. I will be using the crane to lift it up and get those things welded. I've got to make a couple of decisions on the pins. I need to put those in a little further and put something a little bit different, I want to say, on those. I may actually turn them around, put a washer on the other side, weld the washer on the other side, turn the pin, pull the pin out, pound it back in through this other direction, and make the one pin on this side come out. Haven't made a final decision on fenders yet, but fenders will be need to make a decision there and get some fenders figured out. I'm either going to make them or order them. I have not decided. I found a set that I think will work just fine online for about $180 for a set of fenders. But anyway, I'm going to shut the camera off and just get busy welding, because it's going to be weld, 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 weld.